best boxing content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and punch that bell for notifications.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. We're coming to you from the Chumash Casino Resort here in the beautiful city of Santiago, California, where tonight, for your boxing entertainment, Gary Shaw Productions in association with Banner Promotions, Chumash Casino Resort, Nemiroff, and Showtime proudly present Championship Boxing on Showbox, the new generation. This bout is sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission. Executive Officer George Dodd. Your three judges ringside, should the bout go the distance, Abe Bellardo, Ralph McKnight, and Zach Young. And the man in charge of the action when the bell sounds, referee David Mendoza. 8 rounds of boxing in the welterweight division. Introducing first, out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks, he weighed in officially at 146 1/2 pounds. His professional record, 12 wins, 3 losses with 1 bout even. 7 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome from Denver, Colorado, introducing JUAN Chago Santiago. And his opponent fighting across the ring out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks trimmed with red. He weighed in officially at 146 1/2 pounds. His professional record, an impressive one, undefeated in his last 20 appearances, 20 wins with 0 losses, 3 no contests, 13 of those wins coming by way of knockout. From the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan, introducing the Iceman, Vernon. Once again, here to give the final instructions, referee David Mendoza.
Gentlemen, we've gone over the rules and the fouls. Protect yourself at all times and follow my instructions, all right? Touch gloves, return to your corner.
Follow the bouncing scale as we look at the numbers. Santiago was supposed to fight Archie Ray Marquez at 135. Then he switched to Paris at 142, but Paris scaled a full welterweight. So Santiago had a full breakfast. Here he is 2 full divisions above where he thought he'd be. And the rules, 10-point must is universal now. 3 judges score, of course. No standing 8, no 3 knockdown rule. The ref or the doctor can stop the fight. And you can't be saved by the bell here in California in any round.
And so we're all set for our opening fight tonight here on
later,
Showbox.
Ralph. Thank you.
JUAN Santiago in the black trunks for the orange writing. Vernon Paris in the black with a white fringe. Paris's last fight, 6-round decision over Oscar Leon just 7 weeks ago. So he has been active. Last fight for JUAN Santiago was that win over Daniel Gonzalez, whom he lost to back in 2008. This time he beat him in an 8-round unanimous decision.
Glad to see Santiago going right at Paris. Paris is quicker and a better boxer. Santiago's a pretty decent puncher, although I don't know at 147 if he carries the same clout he did when he was lightweight.
Both these fighters told us in our fighter meetings they wanted to come out and be aggressive here and push the pace in the early going. And it seemed to be just that. Santiago connects with the left, but then has to take a left from Paris, who lines him up with a couple of combinations.
Yeah, Paris came out right now. He's throwing his punches really nice and sharp. You know, he believes that he's special. He's a cutie in the ring, and we just have to see, will he mentally continue to stay focused outside the ring?
That has been the issue for him in his early going of his career so far. At the age of 22, a 4-year pro.
And you see
he's still getting that jab in there even though he's pinned in the corner.
Exactly, and he likes to lift that left shoulder a la Floyd Mayweather to try to block his opponent's right hand.
I'm more impressed with Paris because of the fact that when he throws his punches, they're target-oriented. If he going to the body, he hits clean to the body, to the top, to the head. I mean, he has the skill.
Keep him up.
A low blow there. Santiago obviously in pain. go according to the rules. If Santiago can't get up right now, he's got 5 minutes to try and gather himself.
You okay? Get over there. Come here. All right? Keep him up. All right? You okay? Time in.
All right, well, the important thing to remember there is you can't win a fight when you're on the ground. The referee clearly did rule that a low blow because he waved his hands, no knockdown. So if it wasn't a knockdown, obviously it was a low blow. Correct. At least ruled as such.
Keep him up.
I'm wondering a little bit, the way it looked initially, didn't look that low, but nonetheless, Santiago went down as we continue. 45 seconds to go here in this opening round.
Santiago's a tough guy. I mean, he can take punches really well. But right now, he
Oh,
can
don't
find his
spin him
offensive
around.
game.
Don't
He's
spin him
getting
around.
He's getting tattooed right now.
Yeah, he took a tough left hook there from Paris in the corner.
Paris doing a nice job of just stepping back, but punching when he steps back with that jab. He's keeping the right distance where he can get off and use that speed, which is way.
Don't hold his arm, Paris.
Another quick jab.
Keep him up.
And that has been effective. Comes over with the right hand there, and there he goes with the combinations, getting Santiago in trouble in the final seconds of this opening round.
Time.
When Paris is going to be most open to getting hit.
Well, we saw both these fighters have a little something behind their punches there in the first round. They wanted to come out aggressive, they said. Each did.
When I see Paris work, it's hard to believe that he's only 22 years old. It seems like the little subtle moves that he do is from an old school veteran type fighter. He must have great training, or maybe this is just an innate, God-given talent.
He's got fast hands, as you can see. That jab reaches just about every time he throws it. Right there.
He's got the good amateur background. He was a National Junior Olympics champion, turned pro very early, so he didn't have a long amateur career.
Good right hand there by Santiago to get back in this. He's got Paris up against the ropes in a bit of trouble.
Nice slick defensive moves, but no reason for that. He doesn't have to stand on the ropes and let his opponent punch.
Well, when he rides in competition, he'll understand that each one of those punches count. You don't need to be taking any if you can help it.
Keep him up. Keep him up.
We're seeing a lot of different facets of Vernon Paris right now. Now he's fighting on the inside.
But he's most effective with that left hand.
And he's dangerous, man. He catches these guys right on the button, and you never expect when he's going to give you that big punch.
And he seems to be looking for it. Fighting close inside, trying to line Santiago up for the big blow.
Don't come in with your head.
But Santiago fights right back. Not giving an inch. We should mention Vernon Paris, a last-minute replacement as well. Archie Ray Marquez was the opponent for JUAN Santiago up until just about a week ago. And so Paris taking this fight on short notice. Big right hand.
See, this is what's unnecessary. He doesn't need to cover up like this and get hit.
But Santiago's tough. You got to take the head off to him. You're going to have to knock him out. He's not going anywhere.
Good combination from Paris.
Keep him up. Keep those punches up, Paris.
Given that Santiago's a much smaller guy, I fully expect if this fight continues the way it is, he will not go the distance. He's not big enough to fight at welterweight like this, not against Paris.
Keep him up. Time.
Yeah, my piece. I need some water on my head. Huh? Give me a little water. Okay, how you feel? Give me a deep breath. Give me a deep breath. Big shot, baby. You bang. You all right? Give me some deep breath. Just the leg up, get the leg up, get the leg up.
Good action in round 2. See Santiago in close, and this is where Paris lacks focus. Look at him now, laying against the ropes with the Floyd Mayweather left shoulder up, trying to block the shot, slipping the shots. No reason for it. I don't care if he slips 7 out of 8 punches. He should just be moving or punching himself. Big overhand right lead by Paris there. He does show all of the punches, punching down and up, and now a Paris combination later in the round. A little bit of a slap on that wide left hook, but effective nonetheless because it landed clean.
Keep him up.
Paris has dictated the pace so far through the first 2 rounds, but Santiago refuses to back down.
Yeah, let's keep in mind also, it's an 8-round fight. I mean, if this fight continues to be this hotly contested, we want to look for Paris' condition.
Yes, and Antonio, you and I were talking yesterday about Paris. He takes portions of rounds off. And is that because he lacks focus or lacks conditioning? But either way, it's not a good thing.
Right.
Well, he does certainly take a lot of punches for a guy who seems in control. You see there a couple of right hands. Seems as though many times after he throws a big punch and gets a flurry going, then all of a sudden he just kind of gets into a defensive position. Like now. Big sweeping left hook.
You know, we're talking about Santiago being the naturally smaller guy. He thought he'd be fighting at lightweight 2 weeks ago. Paris might be a little bloated at 47, and maybe his stamina is not what it should be because he's a little heavy.
And then, you know, when you hit a guy with your best shots repeatedly and he's still there coming and giving back as good as he takes, I mean, that also can put a strain on you mentally.
Most of those shots not really doing much damage.
I think
you can see Santiago continuing to work the body.
Yeah, I think this fight's going to come down to conditioning. If Paris is not conditioned for a tough fight, you know, we might see him whip tonight, Steve.
I'm with you because he doesn't need to fight this way, and you just have to question what kind of condition he's in.
It seems like he's breathing through his mouth already. He's reaching and lunging with both hands, all signifying right there, all signifying that, you know, you're trying to get an extra gas of air right there.
And he's not punching with the volume that he did in the early going of the fight.
And there's one punch right now. He's pot shotting, and it's way too early to take a round off. It's only the 3rd round, Steve.
Yeah, and he just took a big, deep breath again. But there's no head movement from Santiago, so Paris knows he can land just about any punch he wants.
Move it down there, boy!
Paris beginning to remind me of Tyrone Brunson, who we had on our air, who had all those knockouts and pooped out after 2 rounds.
And that seems to be where he is right now.
Yeah, Santiago is putting a lot of pressure on him right now. He's landing good shots.
Paris lands a left hand, but one of the few he's landed in this round.
And Santiago took it. He didn't buckle. He didn't back up.
Big right hand from Santiago. And you can see Paris drops his hands in the final seconds of the round.
And that's fatigue.
He's doing a lot better.
Come on, you all right, baby. You're good.
He's doing a lot better. I can't say
If he was lower, he'd be tying his shoes.
Ready for round 4 in the first 2. Paris seemed to be in control, dictating with a large volume. But in that 3rd round, maybe fatigue beginning to show as he seemed to back off the pace a little bit. And Santiago took advantage. We mentioned earlier about the off or out of the ring incidents that Vernon Paris has had to go through over the last 4 years, being shot a couple of times, being stabbed. He fights with 2 bullets in his body, one near his spinal cord and one in his groin. And as you watch him fight, you see him get fatigued at the end of rounds, at the end of fights. You wonder if physically there's something different or just the time that he has to take off over the years. to try and recover from those has affected his career.
Exactly. I mean, bullets in you can't be that good for you. He's giving new meaning to the term shock fighter.
Trying to reestablish the jab that worked so well for him early in the fight.
It's there all day, Cole. All he's got to do is move his hands, but he's too tired to do it.
And these punches are going to take a toll, but you got to be careful because Parrish is always setting a trap for Santiago.
Big right hand, but Santiago stays right there and comes right back.
It'll be in Santiago's best interest if he really invests some work to the body right now, because if Parrish is having fatigue issues, that'll make it even worse for Parrish.
And you see once again, Parrish fighting with his hands down. Delivers a good right cross there, but he's having a tough time keeping his hands up to defend himself.
Yeah, those body shots hurt.
Final minute of this fourth round, scheduled to go 8 here at Shumash. In the first 2 rounds, Parrish was the one throwing all the punches. The last 2, he's been taking it.
That's nice work right there Santiago is putting in.
Parrish opened the door and waved Santiago in. Santiago's taking advantage.
He really is.
Yeah.
Not big punches, but punch after punch after punch. Large volume delivered by Santiago.
And Kurt, what's happening now is Santiago's thrown so many punches that his hands are dropping, and Parrish has free shots at him on the rare occasions that he decides to punch.
Yeah, but I feel that Santiago is doing more than enough work to have won the last 2 rounds unless something big happens here late.
I'm with you.
The end of round 4, and I think both these fighters could use a blow right now.
Bang!
One would think the judges would agree with you. First 2 rounds belonging to Parrish, the last 2 to Santiago. So a good fight here as we get into the second half of what's scheduled to be an
break,
8-rounder.
step back, come on.
Kurt, also keep in mind there was a point taken away in the
Break,
first round.
break, hey, come on, man.
For the low blow.
For the low blow.
You see Parrish trying to work the body now.
Steve, I noticed something in the replay after round 4. It seems as if Parrish is slapping with most of those big shots. I don't know if it's because he's fatigued, but a lot of those punches are slaps, and you're not going to be able to get anybody out there if you don't turn your hands over.
Antonio, it's a great point, because if you think about it, the only times he's really hurt Santiago were in the first couple of rounds.
Yeah.
He hasn't really hurt him since.
And his punches haven't been nearly as crisp since then either. Although he delivers a good right hand there. Two fighters trading punches in the corner.
Keep on it, Spin. Keep it there. Trap it. Trap it. Put the trap on it. Put the trap boy on it.
Break, break, step back, step back.
Good right hand there, and it seems as though the strategy for Parrish is to look for the big blow, while Santiago is trying to get as many punches in as he can each round. A couple of body shots then to the head goes Santiago. It seems as though every time he gets Vernon Parrish up against the ropes, and he can't quite get him out. Parrish gets that one shot to fight his way out.
Both guys neglecting the body pretty much now. Probably a big mistake, being that they're both pretty fatigued.
Another good combination from Parrish.
He's still able to sometimes just put it out, you know. Granted, he's the better. That was a low
Come
blow.
on.
Another low
Keep
blow.
him out.
Another low blow.
Keep him up.
Second one of this fight.
Are you okay? Don't do that again. Bucks.
Receives a warning this time, does Parrish.
Keep him up. Keep those punches up.
I give Santiago credit for coming back that quickly after that low blow. He could have milked it, but you know what? As tired as Parrish is, probably benefited him to go right back in. Why give Paris any rest?
But as tired as Santiago appears, maybe he needs to rest. But his hand's down to his side now, and Paris takes advantage.
This is round 5. It looks like round 50.
For both these fighters.
Bam! Keep those punches up.
You know what time it is. You know what time it is. Okay, you know what time it is. Give me some deep breath. Give me some deep breath.
Dave,
On his face. On his face. You stay. Okay.
that was an accidental foul.
What we do our
I
best.
didn't call
Start
time.
throwing
He
down
didn't
hard
need it.
now,
That's
man.
why I didn't take a point
Hold on
off.
now, man. Take it to him, dude. Get in his chest, man. Make him fucking quit this round.
He's
He's trying to
picking up
bitch
the
up,
pace.
bro. Give him an excuse. He's looking for a soft place to lay. Give him one right now. Tired of getting ripped off all this bullshit you've ever been through. I'm not that shit over now, bro. All right? Good, standing straight the fuck up. I need you bending down.
And we have action from round 5. Low. He lost a point in the first
Seconds
round.
out, Mouthpiece in.
Santiago didn't take any rest. He went right back at it.
Keep those punches
How do
up.
you have the fight scored through 5, Steve?
Well, given that the point deduction, which I missed, to be honest with you, right now I have it 47-47 even after 5 rounds.
Keep them up.
Santiago comes out, begins to work the body.
That was a backhand jab. Oh, good shot.
Good right hand from Paris.
Second wind, maybe?
Let's hope for his sake.
Another
That's another
backhand
backhand.
slap.
No call from the ref.
We've seen that from Paris a couple of times, not only in this round, but in this fight. He does seem to have a bit more verve than he has the last couple of rounds.
But Santiago doing the right thing. His only chance is to outwork his man and walk him down and no rest.
Good shot. It seems as Paris can only fight in spurts right now. You know, he has to get that breath of fresh air in order to come back with something.
And he's wrapping up, trying to get that breath, but Santiago taking advantage with repeated body and headshots. Not fearful at all is Santiago of stepping in there and taking advantage, even though Paris has landed a big punch every now and then. Like the right hand there.
Yeah, and the operative word there, Kurt, is big because Paris's shots are harder, but they're fewer.
He has all the skill. It just, you know, it just sickens me to see such a great boxer, good boxer, spend all this time on the rope. If you're a better boxer, you need to fight in the center of the ring.
He's too tired.
Exactly.
I mean, he repeatedly puts his hands down at his side. A lot of times he seems to be getting to the ropes for a rest.
There's a long way to go in this round. If Paris was shot, and he may blow this round, and this is a critical round.
Very critical. He just took a deep breath right there as if, you know, he was in the middle of the, between rounds.
And another minute to go in this 6th of 8.
Another backhand by Paris. That's 3 of them now.
Santiago not backing down.
You know what? If Santiago can press on the gas pedal right now,
Paris stepping more towards the center of the ring, and Santiago trying to line him up. Good right hands to fight out of the corner. Big one.
he has all the ability, all the skill, and this goes to show you that even if you're more talented and gifted than a fighter, you have to be in condition, because it'll take a tough fighter with a lot of guts to be able to defeat you sometime if you're not in condition.
Well, Santiago showing the guts.
Bam!
Certainly in this fight.
That was a tough round to score. Paris landed the bigger shots. I gave it to Santiago.
Yep.
Can you blame anything on this fight being scheduled between these two only a week ago because Archie Marquez dropped out?
Well, you know what? Paris was supposed to be on this card against a fighter with a losing record. And judging by the way he looks condition-wise, he looks like he trained to fight a fighter with a losing record.
And when you look at Santiago's record, I mean, nothing really peeks out at you as like this could be a killer. You know,
Stop,
he's 12-3
punching.
with
back.
7 knockouts.
Let's go. Here we go.
He certainly shows a lot of heart.
Yeah, getting through the first 2 rounds was the key for Santiago.
Basically wore Paris down.
Yeah, with his face.
Yeah.
And if Paris want to help himself right now, he needs to start going to the body. The man is taking every shot to the head. You're not going to get him out of there with a head shot.
Paris lining him up for a couple of hooks. That's really been his strategy all night long. Look for the big shot.
Steve, he wound up and hit him with a vicious left hook right there, and Santiago kept coming.
This is why scoring fights is so subjective. Paris is, believe me, you can tell when you're ringside, the difference in punching power is very, very obvious. Paris is throwing much harder shots.
Another big shot from Paris, but the problem is he throws 1, Santiago throws 5 or 6. Like right now, he's got him lined up in the corner once again, and the combinations keep landing to the body and the head.
And I can tell you from a judge's perspective, it's hard to give a fighter a round when he stayed on the ropes for predominantly all of the round.
Paris may be landing the more effective punches, but they're far, far fewer than Santiago.
Come on, let's go.
Paris taking another deep blow.
It's hard to figure how Santiago is still here taking those big shots because 2 fights ago he boxed at 129 pounds. He's a much smaller guy. He's taking big shots from Vernon Paris.
Big, powerful shots from Vernon Paris. Another backhanded slap there by Paris, and he gets away with it. We've seen 4 or 5 of those tonight.
He thinks he's playing tennis with the backhand. I'm telling you.
Well, if he's not getting called for them.
Keep him up.
Santiago needs to finish this round strong, or else I feel like Paris is good enough to win this round so far. Steve.
I agree.
And we'll go to the 8th and final round. A good fight that wasn't expected to be this good a fight.
Okay, we gave that one up. We lost that round big, dude. I need this last round, bro.
Come out hard, baby.
Hey, if we don't get this last round, but this is the fight right here, dude. Okay? This is the fight. This is it. Okay. You got 3
Seven mile, what's up? You know what to do, baby. It's all our homeboys. That's boy Bob. Everybody. You got to dig in. Who is your baby? Who is your baby? That's right. Who is your baby? See what you baby. Put on your top.
I want accumulation of shots, all right? I want you to show some heart here, show some balls like you want to win this. You show the judges, you show USA you want this fight. Okay?
Okay. When you're coming in, pull the right uppercut and snatch. Stay busy, baby. Stay busy.
That's it, bro. That's when we round you jigging. Make your ass go to work, bud. Like
I love you, boy.
And so the 8th and final round. The last time
guys, good luck
Paris
to
went
you.
this far. Had to go 8 rounds in the fight. It was his last fight before his suspension back in February 08. And look at Santiago come out knowing that whoever wins this round most likely will win this fight.
Body shot hurt Santiago badly, left hook.
And Paris trying to take advantage. We haven't seen him throwing punches with this much volume since the opening rounds.
And Kurt, I have the 66-66 up for grabs here going into the last round.
My same score. And if Paris is unable to win this fight tonight, this fight is going to hunt him for the rest of his career.
He's never lost a fight before. Vernon Paris, 20-0. 3-0 contest, 13 knockouts.
Break. Come on.
Good motivation coming from both corners before the 8th. Paris, his trainer, David Lester, imploring him to fight for his 2-year-old daughter. And Paris says that young girl has motivated him to take boxing more seriously. But clearly, he is not in great shape tonight.
Santiago following Paris all the way into the corner. Won't let him get away.
Great body shot. but he's slapping with those punches, Steve. I can confirm that now by watching it this close.
I agree, Antonio, but the problem is he's landing them flush, even though they're slapped.
Both guys going toe-to-toe.
Come on, Paris.
You got to believe the judges' scorecards are like yours. Whoever wins this round most likely wins this fight.
It's going to be very interesting scoring, that's all I can say.
Paris taking advantage now. Trying to line Santiago up against the ropes. More than a minute to go, and Santiago turns him around. Wow. What a heart by Santiago in this fight. He's taken a lot of punches, big punches, from Paris. But every time it looks like Paris has him in trouble, Santiago finds a way out.
Yeah, it looks like both fighters are laying it all on the line. I think Paris knows that he needs a big round right now. But that don't look good, grabbing right there.
Let's go.
Clinching in the final seconds of the final rounds.
And if you think about it, there have been no clinches this whole fight.
Santiago still aggressive. You can hear Santiago's corner yelling that he is done, meaning Paris, trying to get him to finish off Vernon Paris in the final 20 seconds. Santiago got in there.
Keep him up. Keep him up.
Paris has him against the ropes. Both fighters just fatigued here.
Let's go.
And have spent all they could in this 8-round battle. Few people expected this to go the distance. Few people expected it to have to go to the fight cards with a question mark as to who would win this fight.
And Kurt, at the end there, Santiago went down in his corner holding his groin as if he had been hit by a low blow at the end of the fight. I have it 76-75. I gave Paris the last round and the fight.
Here's the belly button and the gloves right there.
I have no idea how the judge is going to score this.
All you guys. Love you.
It was legal, but, you know, I kept telling him, stop hitting low.
Love y'all, baby.
Antonio, how'd you see it?
Well, I have it same as Steve does. 1 point for Paris in the last round. He really laid it all out. He knew that his fight was in jeopardy, and I think he went for the win. But you have to keep in mind, what was the judges looking for? Were they looking for aggression?
Well, this is what the judges saw. Paris, big combination. And look at that. Santiago spins him, much as Paris did to Santiago in the first couple of rounds. Both had their moments in the 8th round, but Paris's work rate, believe it or not, as tired as he was, I think was a little more consistent. And there you see shots. Slaps, not slaps, doesn't matter. They landed flush. All right, let's go back to round 1. There's a low blow to the hip. It was low, and David Mendoza took a point away. That could end up being absolutely critical. That was a 9-9 round. Paris won the first round clearly, but with the point deduction, he loses the edge. And there's the sign that I missed the first time around, Mendoza indicating the point deduction. Could have been critical. And now the 5th round, right on the belt line, on the white part of the trunks. But no point deduction this time. And Santiago, hurt or not, went right back into the fray.
Unless that guy changed his training habits, yeah, but he did.
And so this one will go to the judges' scorecards. As we said, a lot of question marks that I don't think anyone anticipated. You could see Paris going over, showing Santiago some respect. Well-earned respect.
A lot of heart shown by both guys because they were tired very early in this fight. But Paris has a lot of work to do, and Antonio talked about his lack of focus outside the ring. I think he lacks focus inside the ring as well, and it's easy to lose your focus when you're not in shape.
Yeah, it is.
Let's go to our ring announcer, Sonny Franco, for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards for the official decision. We have a split decision. Abelardo scores at 77-74 for Santiago. Ralph McKnight has it 76-75 for Paris. And Zach Young has it 76-75 for your winner by split decision, the Iceman, Vernon.
The judges basically agreeing with you guys, split decision, Paris winning that final round, 76-75, and he remains undefeated.
Same score as Antonio and I had, and the crowd doesn't like it, but I think that 8th round was the difference.